Alrighty, so since the last time I've worked on this, I've done my full rotation for work as far as a full-time job, and my father's done a little bit of work on the car, so we'll go over that real quick and then I'll jump right back into the wiring. Replaced all of the seals as far as the front goes. The J seals were put on. I did assist with putting the wiring harness that came in for the starter in. I still have a little bit of tying up to do and I have to hook it up, but there's that. I've rebuilt the gauge cluster in my off time, put new bulbs in it, new gauges where need be, stole gauges from other clusters, etc. This consists of mainly cosmetics, light covers. He did order a backup light harness, parking light lenses and gaskets, and a dash speaker. So now I can clean that bracket up over here and put this speaker in it and get it put back in the dash, run some speaker wire through where the radio goes, and hopefully have the entire dash put back together. We did change the key out. I hooked everything up as far as the ignition goes there. It's all new. I have to figure out how to get this loose. Go ahead and replace this. We have one of these that are new. I have a new heater control setup that was rebuilt. New knobs and levers and all that stuff I have to put back in here whenever I'm ready. But yeah, I guess now we're going to see about trying to get this thing pinned back together as far as the wiring goes. After quite a bit of reading and trial and error, I think I've got this pretty well lined out. I still have some questions. I still have some questions, but I've answered more questions than I've made. At this point, this down here is my harness for the steering column. It quick plugs in. I have to figure out what's going on with this, and there's one other plug under the dash. I have some general instructions, but it doesn't really make much sense to me. I may have to call Dan Chuck on that. Here's the, I guess that's the rear body harness. I have a plug under here for that. And there's just one or two other things that I'm not sure of. There was a light in here. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, see that little circle right there? That's for the shift indicator. And there's wiring for that. But obviously this car was a 3-speed manual, so it didn't have, this is just a block-off plate. Nothing was there. So about another 20 minutes, I imagine, and I'll have all my wiring mostly lined out. This is a neutral safety switch. I have to figure out what's going on with that. And then it's going to be a matter of trying to change these busted up heater cables. Plug in the last few things like the cigarette lighter, glove box light, which I think is this right here. Well, no. See, this was another problem I had. But anyway, I'll figure that out. Other than that, I imagine it probably won't be long, and it should be able to start by key. Put the heater controls back in. We're not going to change these cables after all because we're looking at an underdash unit that replaces all this for AC and heat, so there's no sense in tearing it all out, putting it back in when in just a few months we're going to be changing it anyway. This is pretty well back in and tidied up. I've got a few things down here that are hanging for the steering column, the one that we have ready to go. Got this on, checked all this out. It works out pretty well. And got this done. So, new speaker wires, there's that. And the best part of all, as far as the wiring goes, while I'm still sorting out some trouble, some unclear instructions on certain wires and where they go, and some that I don't recall taking loose that were hanging anyway. But the best part about all this is this. Okay, yeah, forgot about the neutral safety switch, so try this again. Take two. Power on and off from the key. Finally, don't have to worry about burnt plugs, don't have to worry about sketchy wiring. We did order a fuse block replacement to get rid of the glass fuses. That's en route. The new body harness plug right here, if I can get it out. From here back all the way to the tail lights we have ordered, so literally everything in this car wiring wise will be replaced within the next few weeks. Alright, after a while, finally got most of this put back together. I didn't film a lot of this because it was very trial and error, and we still got a long way to go on it. But what happened was, while I was kind of messing with it myself, my father jumped in and helped. So anyway, ended up putting the controls back in, because like I said, we're not going to run any of that until it starts to cool off, and then we're going to swap everything under the dash, wipers included, and just convert it all. Found this I still am not sure on how to remove. This all works, but like I said, we're going to change all that. Got the bezel put back in. I'm not sure on the LEDs. I may have to switch those as far as the lighting goes because of the polarity. I know LEDs only work one way. This column was match painted at a local shop. This is the shorter column, which, as you can see, it's much shorter. We did hook the shifter linkage up, but it won't go into park right now because the transmission is dropped. Got that put back together. Speaker wires waiting. Finally got these mounted and working. They're my favorite part of the car, I think. With those and the wing vents open, it'll air the whole car out. We glued the J seals down like instructed on both sides. They're still doing this, so we will probably end up cleaning, gluing, and I will end up putting a small washered screw in here just so it doesn't come loose again. Still waiting to tidy all this up. I have to run this to the fuse block. I have to figure out where in the hell this goes. Yeah, we got the front input on too. So, yes, it looks terrible under the hood. I still have to paint it. Like I said, I got the shifter linkage in down here, but with the transmission dropped, it puts it in too much of a bind to adjust. So once that's fixed, yeah, we're gonna get the harness plug put in soon. Get this bolted down. We tried to shim and get all the body lines straight. Got the vacuum tube for the transmission, the modulator set up. We're getting this repaired, TIG welded and painted, the dipstick itself. bunch of small stuff, but hopefully it goes pretty quickly now and we can get this thing up and moving. I guess we'll wrap it up, and by the time my next off week comes about, I'll probably have more progress. But until then, this is it.